ఇంటర్మీడియట్ విద్యారంగంలో అగ్రగామి మన ఎన్ఎస్ఆర్ ఇంపల్స్ ఎడ్యుకేషన్ ఇన్స్టిట్యూషన్. ఐఐటి జేఈఈ అయినా నీట్ అయినా తిరుగులేని విద్యా సంస్థ ఎన్ఎస్ఆర్ ఇంపల్స్.
Varies with temperature. So that's we have to know. We have to know about this. Next topic, how the resistance varies with temperature. Variation of first resistivity. Variation of resistivity with temperature. Resistivity or specific resistance. Variation of resistivity or specific resistance. How this resistivity or specific resistance varies with temperature. See here, generally resistance or resistivity in case of three conditions, three different type of materials we have: conductors, semiconductors, insulators. In these three cases, the variation of resistance or resistivity with temperature must be different. In these three cases it is in different ways. These three cases it is in different ways. So how this varies in these situations? Let us see here. It is, let rho T is resistivity of the material at temperature T. So rho naught, resistivity of the material at temperature T naught, initial temperature. Let us say it is the initial temperature and it is the final temperature. Then final rho T can be written as rho naught into 1 plus alpha into T minus T naught. Rho T is equals to rho naught into 1 plus alpha into T minus T naught, where alpha is temperature coefficient of resistivity, where alpha is the temperature coefficient of resistivity. So this is the situation, variation of resistivity with temperature. So how this alpha value, and when this resistivity increases, when this resistivity decreases, like that we have to calculate. Now in case of metals or conductors, generally metals are considered as conductors. So in case of conductors, resistivity increases with increase in temperature. That's why alpha value is positive for metals. So rho increases with increase in temperature in metals. So alpha value is positive for metals. No doubt about that. Now but in case of insulators and semiconductors, rho value decreases with increase in temperature. So that is the important point here. Specific resistance or resistivity decreases with increase in temperature in case of insulators and semiconductors, but in case of conductors, resistivity must increases with increase in temperature. Alpha value is positive. Here alpha value is negative for these materials. Alpha value is negative for these materials. So generally, if we draw the graph for conductors, so it's rho and it is temperature. The shape of the graph is like this. The shape of the graph is curved, slightly curved, and at low temperature, at very low temperature, its value is curved. At high temperature, it may be straight line. At low temperatures, it is curved, and if the temperature goes on increases, it is straight line. So that is the graph between resistivity and temperature. At low temperatures, it is very low value and it is curved shape. But if the temperature, if the high temperatures, at high temperatures, it is straight line. So at absolute zero, resistivity of the materials is, resistivity of the conductors is 0. At absolute zero means 0 Kelvin. At 0 Kelvin, let us say 0 Kelvin. So 100 Kelvins, 200 Kelvins, 300 Kelvins, 400 Kelvins, 500 Kelvins, like this. If you draw the graph like that. So that means exactly at absolute zero, the resistivity of the conductor must be equal to 0. And this is the graph between resistivity and temperature in case of conductors. And in case of semiconductors and insulators, so generally this is resistivity and it is temperature. The shape of the graph is like this. This is for conductors and this is for semiconductors. In case of semiconductors, if the temperature increases, resistivity goes on decreases. Resistivity decreases. So this is the concept. How the resistivity varies with the temperature means rho T is equals to rho naught into 1 plus alpha into T minus T naught. So alpha is the temperature quotient of resistivity. In case of conductors, alpha value is positive, but in case of semiconductors and insulators, alpha value is negative. And this respective graphs, this is for conductors and this is for semiconductors. This is for semiconductors. This is conductors and semiconductors. Of course, insulators are also nearly equal to this one only. So this is the temperature quotient, the temperature dependence of resistivity. And one more thing here. We know J, current density J is equals to NEVD. J is equals to NE into VD is EE by M. So J is equals to NE square by M into E. NE square by M into E. So J is equals to E by M into T, relaxation time, into T. So sigma E, where sigma is conductivity. Sigma is the conductivity. So, but resistivity is equals to reciprocal of conductivity. So, 1 by sigma. So, where from this sigma can be written as NE square by M into T. So, 1 by NE square by M into T. So, M by N E square T. So resistivity. This is also the one formula for resistivity. So we already derived this equation. Current density is equals to NEVD. Drift velocity formula E by M into T. E by M into T. So J is equals to current density N E square by M into T E. N E square by M into T E. So J is equals to sigma E, where sigma is equals to N E square by M into T. And resistive is equals to reciprocal of conductivity and 1 by sigma. So that is M by N E square T. So that means if the number of charged particles increases, number of charged particle per unit volume increases, resistivity decreases. So resistivity depends on number of charged particles, remember that. And this is one more relation for the resistivity. And so next, how the resistance varies with the temperature. Variation of resistance with the temperature. Resistance. Previously we discussed about resistivity, how the resistivity varies with the temperature. But here, how the resistance varies with the temperature, that we have to discuss. So let R naught be the resistance at 0 degree Celsius and RT is the resistance at T degree Celsius. RT is the resistance at the T degree Celsius. Now we can write RT is equals to R naught into 1 plus alpha into T minus 0, that is equals to R naught into 1 plus alpha T. RT is equals to R naught into 1 plus alpha T. So in thermal properties of matter, expansion of solids, quotient of linear expansion alpha is equals to, we wrote L2 minus 1 by L1 into delta T. So from this relation we got L2 is equals to L1 into 1 plus alpha into delta T. So according to the same relation, here resistance varies with the temperature. So length varies with the temperature, area varies with the temperature, volume varies with the temperature. We discussed about these. In the same way here, resistance also varies with the temperature, same phenomena. Change in length by original length per unit rise in temperature. In the same way here, from this RT is equals to R naught plus R naught alpha T. RT minus R naught is equals to R naught alpha T. Therefore, alpha can be written as RT minus R naught by R naught T. Alpha equals to RT minus R naught by R naught T. So this is the situation. So alpha is the temperature quotient of resistance. Previous is resistivity and it is resistance. Alpha is the temperature coefficient of resistance. So temperature coefficient of resistance. So alpha is temperature coefficient of resistance and alpha unit is per degree Celsius or Fahrenheit or Kelvin, whatever it is, because RT minus R naught unit of resistance, R naught unit of resistance, resistance unit cancel, remaining is temperature only. That's why alpha is the temperature quotient of resistance and alpha unit is per degree Celsius. Unit is per degree Celsius. This is the resistance varies with the temperature. RT is equals to R naught into 1 plus alpha T. In this also resistance, how the resistance varies with the temperature in different materials, conductors, semiconductors, insulators. Same as that of resistivity, resistance also in conductors, resistance increases with the temperature. Resistance increases with temperature. In conductors, resistance increases with the temperature. Therefore, alpha is positive. In case of conductors, resistance increases with the temperature. That's why alpha value is positive. Alpha value is positive in case of conductors. But in semiconductors, resistance decreases with increase in temperature. So in case of semiconductors, resistance decreases with increase in temperature. So that's why alpha is negative in this situation. Why here the semiconductor resistance decreases with increase in temperature? Here this can be explained on the basis of band theory of solids. In semiconductors we can discuss about this clearly. What are the bands? Here we can exist valence band and conduction band. There exists a gap between those two. That gap is called forbidden energy gap. So later we can discuss about this. So in conductors, in semiconductors, in insulators also, temperature decreases with increase in resistance. In case of insulators, resistance decreases with increase in temperature. Alpha is negative for insulators also. So this is the variation of resistance with the temperature. RT is equals to R naught into 1 plus alpha T, where RT is the resistance at particular temperature, R naught is the resistance at 0 degrees Celsius. So now here so for example, we know RT is equals to R naught into 1 plus alpha T. If R1 is the resistance at T1 degree Celsius, R1 is the resistance at T1 degree Celsius, R2 is the resistance at T2 degree Celsius. We know the relation RT is equals to R naught into 1 plus alpha T. RT is equals to R naught into 1 plus alpha T. If R1 is the resistance at T1 degree Celsius and R2 is the resistance at T2 degree Celsius, then find out the value of alpha. Here find alpha in terms of R1, R2 and T1, T2. Find the value of alpha in terms of R1, R2 and T1, T2. That is the question. So from this, R1 can be written as R naught into 1 plus alpha T1. Here RT is equals to R naught into 1 plus alpha T. where R1 is the resistance at temperature T1 degree Celsius. Now I am writing R1 is equals to R0 into 1 plus alpha T1. We can write this. Similarly, R2 is equals to R0 into 1 plus alpha T2. R2 is equals to R0 into 1 plus alpha T2. Similarly, these are the R1 and R2. R1 and R2. So it's R0 into 1 plus alpha T1, R0 into 1 plus alpha T2. So now the ratio of these two, R1 by R2 is equal to R1 by R2 is equals to R0 into 1 plus alpha T1 divided by R0 into 1 plus alpha T2. R0 gets cancelled. Cross multiplication. R1 into 1 plus alpha T2, R2 into 1 plus alpha T1. If you do the cross multiplication, we got R1 into 1 plus alpha T2, R2 into 1 plus alpha T1. Multiply R1 plus R1 alpha T2, that is equals to R2 plus R2 alpha T1. Expand the relation. R1 plus R1 alpha T2 is equals to R2 plus R2 alpha T1. So R1 alpha T2, this one, and this comes to this side, minus R2 alpha T1, that is equals to R2 minus R1. This is R2 and this R1 comes to this side. Here alpha common, R1 T2 minus R2 T1, that is equals to R2 minus R1. Therefore, alpha is equals to R2 minus R1 by R1 T2 minus R2 T1 per degree Celsius. So that is the alpha value. Alpha value in terms of R1 R2 and T1 T2. See here, RT is equals to R0 into 1 plus alpha T. This is the relation we know. And what we are considering here, R1 is the resistance at T1 degree Celsius and R2 is the resistance at T2 degree Celsius. Find alpha in terms of R1 R2 and T1 T2. So here R1 is equals to, according to the same relation only, what is R1 at temperature T1? That's why R1 can be written as R0 into 1 plus alpha T1. R2 is equals to R0 into 1 plus alpha T2. Just we are doing the ratio of these two. R0 cancel, cross multiplication. Finally we got alpha is equals to R2 minus R1 by R1 T2 minus R2 T1. R1 T2 minus R2 T1. So this is the variation of resistance with temperature. Next, for example, two materials having different resistances. Here the condition is two materials having different resistances and temperature coefficient of resistances alpha 1 and alpha 2. Different resistances here R1 and R2. Two materials having different resistances R1 and R2 and their temperature quotient of resistances are alpha 1 and alpha 2 and their temperature quotient of resistances are alpha 1 and alpha 2 are connected in series are connected in series, what happens? If these two are connected in series. So for example, these are the two resistances. These are the two resistances, and these two resistances must be varies with temperature. Must be varies with temperature. Are connected in series. If two resistances are connected in series, what is effective resistance? Two resistance are connected in series. R effective can be written as R1 plus R2. Let us say it is R1 and it is R2. R1 and R2, if two resistances are connected in series, R effective is equals to R1 plus R2. Next we can discuss about this combination of resistances. So due to change in temperature, these two resistances values changes. Due to change in temperature, R1 and R2 must be changes. R1 and R2 changes. Let us say R1 becomes R1 dash, that is equals to R1 into 1 plus alpha t, and R2 becomes R2 dash, that is R2 into 1 plus alpha 2t. Both must be increases to the same temperature. Then R1 dash becomes R1 into 1 plus alpha t1. R2 dash equals to R2 into 1 plus alpha t2. So finally, then R effective can be written as R1 dash plus R2 dash. Of course, they are varies with the temperature. Of course, these two substances varies with the temperature, but effective resistance becomes R1 plus R2 only. If two resistances are connected in series, effective resistance must be R1 plus R2. What are they? Of course, they are varies with the temperature. Increases with the temperature or decreases with the temperature, whatever it is. But effective resistance must be R1 plus R2. Therefore, here R1 plus R2 is equals to R1 dash plus R2 dash. R1 plus R2 is equals to R1 dash is R1 into 1 plus alpha 1 t plus R2 dash R2 into 1 plus alpha 2 t. Here R1 plus R2 is equals to, expand this, R1 plus R1 alpha 1 t plus R2 plus R2 alpha 2 t. R1 R2 cancels. Here R1 cancel, R2 cancel. So remaining thing is R1 alpha 1 t plus R2 alpha 2 t is equals to 0. R1 alpha 1 t is equals to minus R2 alpha 2 t. Tt also gets cancelled. R1 alpha 1 is equals to minus R2 alpha 2. So this is the relation exists here. Sorry, R1 alpha 1 is equals to minus R2 alpha 2. Two resistors having resistances R1 and R2, whose temperature quotient of resistances are alpha 1 and alpha 2 are connected in series. Both must be increases to same temperature. Then we can write it as R1 dash can be written as R1 into 1 plus alpha 1 t. R2 dash is equals to R2 into 1 plus alpha 2 t. So R effective equals to R1 dash plus R2 dash. Then based on this, what is the relation? I mean the relation in this situation is R1 alpha 1 is equals to minus R2 alpha 2. This is the situation we got. Now So next condition, what is meant by superconductivity? What is meant by superconductivity phenomena? Superconductivity means at particular temperature, the resistance of the materials suddenly becomes zero. So at particular temperature, the resistance or resistivity of the material suddenly becomes zero. That phenomena is called superconductivity. At what temperature the resistivity or the resistance becomes zero, the temperature is called critical temperature. So at particular temperature, the resistance or resistivity of the materials becomes zero. That phenomena is called superconductivity. At what temperature those resistance becomes zero, the temperature is called critical temperature. Here it is, critical temperature. Critical temperature means the temperature at which the resistance of the materials becomes zero. At what temperature the resistance of the materials becomes zero, the temperature is called critical temperature. So the phenomena of becoming resistance zero, that phenomena is called superconductivity. Generally in mercury, the resistance becomes zero at 4 Kelvin nearly. 4 Kelvin, not degree Celsius, 4 Kelvin. So very low temperatures. What is the use of this superconductivity phenomena? What is the use of this phenomena? The use of this phenomena is, if the temperature gradually decreases, the resistance decreases and becomes zero. If the resistance zero means those materials act as very good conductors. No resistance, no opposition, no loss of energy. So no resistance means, here the best example is, if the current flows through the wires, these wires are copper wires. Generally we are using these copper wires. If the current passes through these copper wires offer certain amount of resistance. Definitely copper wires offer certain amount of resistance. So due to that resistance, certain amount of energy must be wasted. So that's why lights of the bulbs gets heated after certain time. The heating effect is due to electrical energy converts into heat energy. That means due to the effect of that resistance, certain amount of energy must be wasted. But in this phenomena, if the resistance completely becomes zero, there is no opposition for the flow of current. That means minimization of, that is wastage of energy must be minimized. For that purpose, the superconductivity phenomena must be useful. But at a 4 Kelvin temperature is not possible. Nowadays the developments is up to 125 Kelvin. Superconducting phenomena nowadays the researchers up to 125 kelvins. This must be reached up to 125 kelvins. So if the temperature increases, then if it reaches to, let us say, 300 Kelvin, that means at room temperature, this superconductivity phenomena exists, but it takes certain time. So initially it exists at 4 Kelvin in case of mercury. It's very less temperature. In our daily life, this type of temperature does not exist. 4 Kelvin means 4 minus 273. How much? Minus 269 degrees Celsius. Minus 2 to 69 degrees Celsius. Practically in our daily life this does not possible. So that's why, so the superconductivity nowadays the researches reaches up to 125 Kelvin. So generally in case of graph, the resistivity varies with the temperature. This is general condition. But in case of superconductors, the resistivity varies with the temperature. So below this temperature, resistance becomes 0. From this temperature only resistance exists. Below this temperature, resistivity becomes 0. So this is in case of superconductors and it is general conductors. So next. So next, let us do one example problem. For example, this is the VI graph. This is one and this is one. Let us say it is theta and this is also theta. Theta with vertical. Let us say it is T1 and T2. T1 and T2 are the temperatures here. T1 comma T2 are the temperatures. Here we have to find T2 minus T1 value. Just this graph is mentioned. Only this graph is mentioned. Then find T2 minus T1 value. How can we calculate T2 minus T1 value? So that is the thing. So resistance at temperature T1, resistance at temperature T2. So now slope of VI graph gives what? Slope of VI graph gives resistance. Slope of VI graph gives resistance. Now in this case, first graph at temperature T1, slope is equals to tan theta. Slope is equals to tan theta. So that is equals to R1. Slope is equals to tan theta, that is equals to R1. So how we can write R1? R0 into 1 plus alpha T1. R1 is equals to R0 into 1 plus alpha T1. So this is the first condition. So we know slope of Ohm's law, V is equals to IR. V by I is equals to R. Here y component by x component, that is tan theta is equals to R1 is equals to R0 into 1 plus alpha T1. Next, for second graph at temperature T2, for second graph at temperature T2, slope. So tan of 90 minus theta it is. If it is theta, remaining angle is, total angle is 90 here. Of course, it is made with angle theta with vertical, but with horizontal it is 90 minus theta. This is theta, this remaining value is 90 minus theta. So tan of 90 minus theta, that is equals to R2. Tan of 90 minus theta is cot theta is equals to R2, that is equals to R0 into 1 plus alpha T2. Cot theta is equals to R2, that is equals to R0 into 1 plus alpha T2. So now we can write R2 minus R1, that is R0 into 1 plus alpha T2 minus R0 into 1 plus alpha T1. Here I am writing R2 minus R1. So these are the two graphs, VI graph. First graph is at temperature T1, second graph is at temperature T2. Slope of VI graph gives resistance. Tan theta according to the resistance varies with the temperature concept. R1 can be written as R0 into 1 plus alpha T1. R2 can be written as R0 into 1 plus alpha T2. R2 is nothing but cot theta minus R1 is tan theta. So that is equals to R0 plus R0 alpha T2 minus R0 plus R0 alpha T1. Cot theta, cos theta by sin theta minus sin theta by cos theta, that is equals to R0 cancel, R0 alpha T2 minus R0 alpha T1. LCM, that is sin theta cos theta. It becomes cos square theta minus sin square theta. So here LCM sin theta cos theta, sin theta, remaining value cos theta into cos theta, cos square theta minus sin square theta. Here R0 alpha common, T2 minus T1. Cos square theta minus sin square theta is cos 2 theta divided by, for our convenience I am writing 2 sin theta cos theta divided by 2, that is equals to R0 alpha into T2 minus T1. So 2 comes to the numerator, 2 cos 2 theta divided by sin 2 theta. 2 sin theta cos theta is nothing but sin 2 theta. R0 alpha into T2 minus T1. Therefore 2 into cot 2 theta is equals to cos 2 theta by sin 2 theta is equals to cot 2 theta, R0 alpha into T2 minus T1. So from this T2 minus T1 is equals to 2 cot 2 theta divided by R0 alpha. Therefore T2 minus T1 proportional to cot 2 theta. T2 minus T1 proportional to cot 2 theta. This is the question. Slope of the graph gives resistance. First resistance is tan theta, second resistance is cot theta. Because it is theta, remaining angle is 90 minus theta. Of course it is made with angle with vertical, remaining angle is 90 minus theta. That's why cot theta is equals to R2. Just I am doing R2 minus R1, cot theta minus tan theta, that is cos theta by sin theta minus sin theta by cos theta. So I am doing T2 minus T1 proportional to cot 2 theta. Yes, it is trigonometry. Cos square theta minus sin square theta is cos 2 theta, 2 sin theta cos theta is sin 2 theta. That's